Hi guys, this is Sean. This video is going to be about worthwhile witchy buys. That is a tongue twister. It's just going to be things that are not one and done, if you know what I mean. They're going to be something you can use for an extended period of time, such as over a week or more, or something that's going to last years, months. Not things that you're going to use once. And so, I think we're going to focus mainly on stuff we haven't covered in previous videos, but I think there will be a slight amount of overlap going on. So, with that, let's hop right into it. For the first thing, the two types of candles that are, I would call, worthwhile. Now, that being said, I got this candle at an occult shop. And I absolutely love occult shops. And it's a really good size, but because I hate the chime candles that are like that big. I don't like them. They're not for me. They might be for you, and in which case those are really good. But I don't like them. So I like this size because it's big enough that it's not wasteful, but small enough that I don't spend forever burning it. And I'm saving it for a rainy day. But it was $9. $9. Not something I'm going to buy very often because of the price. Not because of the quality. It's a great quality. I love it. But it's too expensive. So, things you can buy for candles. Prayer candles, 7-day candles, whatever you want to call them, at the dollar store. They are amazing. They last anywhere, like I think the first one I ever burned lasted for 7 days. Not 7 days, I'm sorry, 5 days. But it just depends on, I guess, permutations in the creation process. I think permutation is the right word. I don't know. I didn't do well in school. Another thing is tea lights. On Amazon, there is a box of 22. I'm sorry. On Amazon, there is a box of 200 for $22. And I am going to get that because I love tea lights. They're great if you just want to throw some energy in a room, but you don't want to waste some of your larger candles, or for short-term spells that you have to wait for the candle to burn out, or once you're done with the candle, you have to throw it away, because some require you to throw away the candle or get rid of the candle, and so that it's great for that. Some things that every witch should have in their cupboard, in my opinion. Salt. Salt is very versatile, great for purity, protection, all the basic things. And really, I almost add it to almost every spell, to be honest. I add salt. And I actually have a Sacred Salts video that I've done, and it'll be linked in the description below. But if you want to put a little bit of a personal touch on salt, you can. But salt, in general, is something every witch needs. So, rosemary is a very good all-around herb to use. Now, let's see. Crystal quartz. And by that, I mean just the clear quartz. I got this necklace today. It has clear quartz on it. Clear quartz is good for basically just energy work, which is basically, that's what magic is working with energy to create your desired outcome. And what you do is you'll, because it's so versatile, you can just program it for the intention you want to manifest in your life, and that will, and basically, so if you needed rose quartz for a spell and you didn't have it, you could use clear quartz and basically program it to act as a rose quartz would. Another thing is incense. Now, there's a lot of different flavors, I guess I'm going to call them scents, that you can get, but I have a couple that I would say you should just get as your first, or what you keep in stock, so to speak. Get down, child. I am burning Nag Champa right now, and that's a really good sweet smelling but not overpowering scent. I think that's something most people, if they are into incense, even if they're not into witchcraft, that is a scent that a lot of them burn. I think it's a really great go-to scent, because I find a lot of incenses to be a bit overpowering and even in some cases sickening, just because it's just so much smoke, and I have a thing with smoke, I don't know, but Nag Champa is not overpowering at all. I swear that cat is going to get on my last nerve. You can't be up there, child. Alright, there you go, it's okay. Another one that you might want to get is sandalwood. Sandalwood is good for after you cleanse your space, you want to put new energy back in it, and sandalwood is really good for that, bringing positivity and sweetness back into the space. Another essential herb is sage, or really any cleansing herb, but sage is the one that is most common to most people that I talk to, but you can use really any herb that corresponds with cleansing to you. So, next, big crystals. It does not matter. Almost never do you have to get rid of a crystal. I mean, there are times when a crystal is done and it will break when it's done. At least that's one of the stories behind crystals breaking. But for the most part, if you buy a crystal, it's a lifelong investment. You can use it in spells. When that spell is done, you can cleanse it, reprogram it, and use it in a different one. Or have it like I have here near my selenite tower. They are great for not only witchcraft, they are great for decoration. They bring some intrigue into your home. They're great for altars, any number of things. But they're so sturdy. It's not like herbs where it's one and done. It's not like candles where they burn out. It's literally something you can hold on to for the rest of your life. Another thing is jars. I love jars. I swear, if jars grew abs and male body parts, I'd be all over that shit, because jars are like a witch's dream. You can use them for spell work. You can use them for storing goods. You can use them for mixing things up. In my upcoming sage spray video, we're going to be using it for mixing things. We're going to be mixing... Sorry. We're going to be mixing some oils together in them. So, you can use them for infusing things, which will be another video that comes up. Any combination of things. And really anything for storage. Boxes. I have cigarette boxes that I use for storage of some things. Not cigarette boxes, I'm sorry. Cigar boxes. Wish I had a better example. I have treasure chests. Say that 5 times fast. That I use for my tarot cards. Storing them in sort of their own little enclosed space, sort of a sacred space in a box for my tarot cards. The possibilities are endless with that. Books. And I am talking about big, fat witchcraft books. another thing that I would have a love affair with if I could. And I say that because you're never going to stop needing them. You're never going to be able to remember everything. And the internet isn't always accurate. You know, you're going to find 17 different stories for the same crystal. You're going to find 18 different stories for the same herb. 7 different versions of every myth you ever read. Everything. So the best thing you can do is invest in a book. Just invest. Because you are going to use that book so often. You've no clue how helpful it really will be. I mean, I have a book on Sabbats, and you know what I got out of it? Aside from a lot of stuff about Sabbats, I got recipes for infusing herbs. I got a pattern for making a ritual robe. I mean, there's... Just open a book that you think you'll like, buy it, and use it. I recommend things like... I do not know how to pronounce the Lelwians or something like that, but it's by Sandra Kynes, and it is called The Complete Book of Correspondences. And let me tell you, this thing is a lifesaver. There are witches in the I'm just gonna say it, in the older generations that have spent lifetimes compiling lists of correspondences for things. And this book, while it isn't in depth like some of those are, covers a vast majority of it in a way that, you know, if you just need a quick glance at, say, lilac, or, okay, here, I just opened the book, lavender, zodiac, Aquarius, Gemini, Pisces, Leo, Virgo. Okay, the day of it is Wednesday. Element, air. Energy, yang. Goddesses, Hecate, Hecate. I don't know how to pronounce that. And Vesta. Magical creatures, fairies. Solar system, Mercury. I mean, you get the point. It just lists the correspondences so that you can take this information and put it into your spells. You know, for instance, this says here that the zodiac for lavender is Virgo. If you flip, you can go to Virgo, and it will also say lavender, and so it's sort of like a web. And I think that is so cool. This is a really great investment that I have used numerous times in numerous spells, and will probably use, and I just got it a couple weeks ago, and I've already used it more than I would think that I would have, but I am using it. I swear, child, you were getting on my last nerve. I love you, though. So, buy books. Doesn't matter what kind. Doesn't matter, you know, if all your budget is $20, you can buy a book. It's expensive, yes, but you will thank yourself later for having a home correspondence. It will bring you so far in your craft, so much further than looking up on the internet will. I promise you that. I promise you, you will not regret it. And that is just one book. There are so many others. Another thing, also a book of shadows. It doesn't matter if it's a binder. It doesn't matter if you glued the pages together. It doesn't matter what you do to get a book of shadows, but you need a book of shadows because you want to record your progress. I have not used... This is my book of shadows. My aunt made it for me. It's sort of modeled after the Practical Magic book. And I've gotten about that far in it. And that's just because I'm very picky about what I put in my book. And I'm getting less picky as I go, just because everyone has this sort of stage where they want it to be perfect. Get over that stage quickly, if possible. Because it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be you. But I have gotten that far. I mean, that is very little in this entire book. This entire book, that's all I've got. And I can already see the difference in my craft and my practice seeing who I was here and who I am now. Who I am when I started this book is not who I am now, and I can only imagine who I'm going to be over here when I'm done. And one thing that I really like about this book, while we're on that topic, is you can remove the paper, and it holds, I do believe, 2 reams of paper. And so when I'm done with this, I can take these reams out. I can go to a bookbinder or bind them myself and have them bound into a book. I can save them and keep using this, and that's my plan. I'm going to make, when I'm done here, I'm going to transfer it into a different binding, keep it as a keepsake and something to pass on to my children, and then I will keep using this book. And I think that is beautiful. Another similar idea is, and one I am about to start my adventure on, is if you are a divination person, a divination journal. And I chose a divination journal because I cannot journal worth a crap about things like dreams or what's happening in my life. But what I can do is I can write down the tarot card, the spread, the cards, and the basic meaning and what I got out of it. And that way I can sort of keep track of my life. That's something else that might be very valuable to you, which brings me to my next point. Pick a divination tool, whether it is a pendulum, whether it is tarot, whether you're scrying, whatever you're doing, however you intend on doing divination, buy something. Excuse me. I had my mother's nose constantly acting up. Anyway, so just buy a deck. Or at least if you're into tarot. I'm into tarot, so I'm going to refer to it as a deck. Whether your path is pendulum or some other path, mine is tarot, so that's what I'm going to call it. Buy yourself a deck, because that deck is something you can use forever. You might later on get other decks. I have multiple decks. But my first deck served me well for well over 3 years. And it wasn't a fancy deck. I don't use it very much today anymore. But it's something, and I can still use it. I still have it. It's still in good shape. Take care of it, and it will last forever. And that is a really good investment. A garden. You have no idea how important it is. I won't say important, but life-saving, perhaps, might be a better word. Because, and I want to say an indoor garden, preferably with perennials. I believe that's the word. The ones that come back every year without you having to replant them. Because that means every year you will have a guaranteed access to that herb. I have aloe vera, which is good for healing, both medically and metaphysically. I have lavender, and I have rosemary. And I keep a really, really good... And they're in their first year right now, but once they're done, every year they'll keep coming back. And every year I will have guaranteed access, so I won't have to go out and buy those herbs. And that can save you so much money. Also, houseplants are great for protection. But I recommend you buy some that don't die every year, just simply for the investment purpose of it. Right now I have ivy as my houseplant. And it just got a clipping from my boss, and I used it as a houseplant, and it has thrived. It's actually struggling right now. I think it's just absorbing too much negativity because I've been really stressed and anxious and upset lately. So I think it's been absorbing a lot of negativity, but I'm working with it. And if you can get something in your house growing that doesn't die, every year, that will permanently aid in the protection of you and your home. And that's a great investment. something I cannot stress enough. Invest in yourself. Whether you are buying something because it makes you feel good, or you are buying something for your craft, or you are just simply treating yourself to a spa day or a movie, whatever it is, treat yourself. Because the number one tool in your arsenal of tools, no matter how many candles, herbs, stones, tools you ever get in your life, the number one thing that you can utilize in your craft and in your life is your own energy and yourself. But if your mental and emotional health is not well enough to do that, it's not going to be easy. So the biggest thing you have to do is treat yourself. Invest in your own self. That can come in so many different forms. It can come with buying yourself something nice, doing something fun, or paying for a therapist, if that's what you need. But you have to make sure that you are well, that you are healthy. Otherwise, it's not really worth much. The other stuff ain't worth much if you can't take care of yourself. And that is the biggest thing. And all these other things, they're worthless without your own energy. That's how they work. Other things. Just a couple things that I've already covered in other videos, but I'm just going to skip over real quick, are wands, athames, candle holders, containers of all sorts, stuff like that. Invest in your altar. I bought these 2 bookshelves at a thrift store, and I do believe that in all they came out to like $50, and they are very, very good quality. Have something for yourself to sit down and practice. This is in my living room because I have such a small space, but invest in your space, because it is a lifesaver to have an actual altar where I don't have to have everything scattered across three different rooms, in cabinets and in drawers. And oh my god, it gets so frustrating when you start building things up that you want in your craft, but you don't have a place to put them. So that is a big thing. Right now I have upcoming in my next videos. So I'm not sure what the next videos are, but I have them written down. I'm just don't remember at the moment. But some of my next craft videos are going to be a new take on a banishing jar. I already did the sacred salts. Go check it out. It's going to be some sage spray. That's the word. I'm a nut today. I don't know what's going on. And then I'll probably do some witchy haul video of some of the stuff I've bought over the last month. I've got a lot of great finds. Some of it you might have already seen, but I'm just going to go over and show you in one video. And I keep intending to do an actual altar tour so you can see my space, ever changing as it is. And even though I'm sitting in front of it, but yeah, that's the plan. All right, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, click the dingy dong bell thingy-mabobber if you want to see my ugly face every time I post a video. Other than that, I want to thank y'all for watching, and I want to see y'all next time. Bye.